Let's go straight to the point. I will answer 3 questions in this video. First, can the daily Scrum be run asynchronously? Second, is this compatible with the Scrum framework? And third, if all these are true, how to run an effective daily Scrum asynchronously. But first, let's define a few terms using meetings as an example. We all know 99% of meetings are synchronous meetings. We are meeting at the same time, simultaneously, over a Zoom call, in person, at the office, synchronous meetings. Asynchronous meetings is just doing the same meeting at our own convenience, using a messaging app or any other tools. It doesn't need to be at the same time. A clear example of that is text messaging versus phone calls. You're calling the person simultaneously, you're listening to you and talking to you. Text messaging, you're answering at your own convenience when you are available. And the same applies for an asynchronous daily Scrum. We are still running the daily Scrum, but not simultaneously. We are using an application like MS Teams, Slack, or any other tools to run the daily Scrum asynchronously so that people can contribute at their own convenience. A few applications were introduced to the market a few years ago that help you do the daily Scrum, the daily Standup, or the Team Sync. If you're using Safe, you can do all these events or meetings asynchronously. 2 applications I really like. First is Cheekbot and second is Friday. Both are very similar. In a nutshell, what you're seeing on the screen, in a nutshell, each team member will get a message every morning, let's say 9 a.m. every single day. And the team member can write their updates whenever it suits them best, obviously. That's a simplified version of the application. These applications have so many other features that will help you run effective asynchronous activities like the daily Scrum. Now, as you might have guessed, running the daily Scrum asynchronously is becoming quite trendy, popular since the introduction of these applications that make it really easy to run asynchronous events, meetings, activities. The number one benefit is doing the daily Scrum at your own convenience, at your own pace, when you are available, reducing distractions. Let's say the daily Scrum is run every single day at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m. you are in traffic. At 9 a.m. you are in another meeting or you're focused coding. Why do you need to stop to join another meeting and then get back to the coding? Distractions. Why can't I just do this activity at my own pace? Asynchronously. Another benefit, clear benefit, is the increase in communication. You all know that some daily Scrums or daily stand-ups are dominated by the loud people in the team. Extroverts in the team dominating the meeting or the event. Doing the daily Scrum asynchronously gives the opportunity to everyone to contribute equally. You don't even need to type. If you still want to speak, send an audio message in the app or record yourself in a video giving your updates for the daily Scrum. If you prefer typing, that's available. And everything is also recorded. 30 minutes ago, there was a daily Scrum. Do you remember what your colleague John said during the daily Scrum? I don't. I really don't. But if we were running the daily Scrum asynchronously, I would see the messages in history of the applications that we are using. Now, is this type of daily Scrum, asynchronous daily Scrum, compatible with the Scrum framework? Let's quickly read an extract from the latest version of the Scrum Guide, the Scrum Guide 2020. The daily Scrum is a 15-minute event for the developers of the Scrum team. To reduce complexity, it is held at the same time and place every working day of a sprint. For me, it's pretty clear that this event should be synchronous. Next, still from the Scrum Guide 2020, the developers can select whatever structure and techniques they want, as long as their daily Scrum focuses on progress towards the sprint goal and produces an actionable plan for the next day of work. Now, even though the previous sentence, the meeting needs to be held at the same time, synchronously, 15 minutes, even though that's mentioned in the Scrum Guide, I think we can excuse this part as long as we meet the priority, the outcome, number one outcome of a daily Scrum, inspecting progress towards the sprint goal and building as a team an actionable plan for the day. How as a team can we progress towards meeting the sprint goal? As long as we do these 2 things, inspect progress and build this plan, I think we can ignore the part of meeting at the same time every day for 15 minutes. Let's do a meeting asynchronously. and meet these two goals, these two outcomes. Now, my experience with asynchronous daily scrums is that we usually typically do the first part really well, inspecting progress towards the sprint goal. We do that really well with chat messages on MS Teams, on Slack, using an application like Cheek. But we can inspect progress. I can tell you what I've completed yesterday. I can tell you what I'm working on, how close this thing is to be completed, what I'm planning to pick up next, who I'm planning to help, who do I need help from. I can do all these asynchronously. But the second part, the planning part, a bit more complex. Think about it. If you need to plan a trip with your friends, there's two options. First, everyone is meeting for dinner, same place, same time, and we have a discussion to plan this trip, this 2-day trip together. That's the first option. The second option is to do that via text messaging. Which option do you think would be more effective? And by effective, I mean being able to craft a plan that increases our chance of meeting the desired outcome. I think when everyone is in a room, laughing together, seeing ourselves face to face, that's way easier to create a plan than doing it asynchronously. It's hard to get this back and forth, real time, asynchronously. That's why I still believe that running the daily scrum asynchronously, it's hard to do the planning part of a daily scrum, and it's hard to meet the expected outcome. The priority of a daily scrum is creating this plan for the day. It's hard to do that asynchronously. Now, I hear you. Many people have told me that asynchronous daily scrums or daily stand-ups are perfect for them. But then when I start questioning them, usually they only do the 3 questions. What did I do yesterday? What will I do today? And impediments, blockers preventing me from accomplishing what I'm planning for the day. That's fine. You can do that asynchronously. That works. But the planning was never about you. It's about the team. It's easy to say what you're going to work on. The hard part is deciding what the team will work on together. And that's the whole purpose of a Scrum team. A single team with a single goal working together to accomplish the goal together. Doing the planning as an individual, that's easy. And communicating via chat, that's easy. Doing the planning together asynchronously, that's the hard part. That's what I believe is happening with people running the daily scrums asynchronously. They are only answering the 3 questions. They are not really doing the planning. That's why they believe that a daily scrum can be run asynchronously. Let me tell you a story, a quick story. I once was working with a team that hated the daily scrum. They didn't want to do it. So they came to talk to me. I was the team coach or scrum master working with a team. They told me that it's not happening. We are stopping the daily scrum. We won't be doing it ever again. I told them that's fine. It's your decision. It's your team. You decide how to self-manage your team. But try something. Run a quick experiment for a few days. Instead of doing the daily scrum every single day, go to the same meeting room at the same time, 15 minutes instead of doing the daily scrum. Just talk about anything and try to plan your day together. Don't do the daily scrum. Talk about anything during the 15 minutes and plan your day together. And we ran this experiment for a few days. After a few days, they came to see me with a big smile on their faces. The experiment was successful. They really liked the planning, sitting together, talking about anything, everything, and planning the day. They really liked it. And then I revealed that that's the goal of a daily scrum. Their previous daily scrum was a status meeting. What did I do yesterday? What will I do today? There was no team planning. Now I gave them the opportunity with this experiment to really know what a team planning looks like. A real daily scrum looks like. And as from this point, they kept on doing the daily scrum correctly now. So I'm not telling you that the daily scrum should be run synchronously or asynchronously. I'm just giving you all the information and you decide. If you're running the daily scrum, currently running the daily scrum synchronously, why not try it asynchronously for a few sprints and test the results? Experiment with it. But remember, the main thing I wanted to tell you in this video, remember the outcome of a daily scrum. Go read again the Scrum Guide 2020, the latest version of a Scrum Guide. Inspect progress towards the sprint goal. And second, creating this actionable plan together. How can we as a team move closer to the sprint goal today? As long as you meet these 2 things, there's a high chance that your daily scrums will be effective, either synchronously or asynchronously. If you want more tips, insights on Agile, Scrum, personal growth, click on the video that stands out the most on the screen right now, and I'll see you in a few seconds.